Simplified Chaos, Episode 17.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to start leading a more purposeful life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my co-host, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks?
And we are so happy that you're listening, you're here, you're back, or this is your first time. Welcome.
Thank you.
Not you, our listeners.
Yeah, no. So we were 3 minutes in to our podcast here, and the podcast stopped recording, so we're starting over again.
No worries, we got this.
No worries. But before we get into our gratitude segment, what are we covering today here, Jill?
Today is all about quote-unquote snobby, or let's say high maintenance, and how if you're feeling like you're being a snob lately, or snob-like, or you're being labeled as high maintenance, that it's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's actually a really good thing.
Yeah, I like our change in perspective on this topic, and I think it's important that we share this.
We're being snobbish right now with our snobbish cocktails.
We are. This is pretty freaking decadent.
We'll talk a little bit more about that, but I am feeling some gratitude right now.
Mm.
Yeah. So.
Well, I already know what you're grateful for. Even
I know.
Though I usually
we already spilled it out because the thing stopped recording and we couldn't really pick it up where it stopped. So
this just means I get to hear it again.
This is fresh. Yeah. So I am grateful for hidden treasures. Act surprised.
Oh my God, hidden treasures.
So today we were coming back from my parents' house. We went down there for Easter, and they're in Delaware, and we needed to get gas. So we stopped off at the Royal Farms just before Kent Island.
The Bay Bridge.
And Lucille was basically losing her shit for the last 15 minutes, and it was good timing that we were going to stop and pull off, and we needed to get out and stretch our legs. So you took her out of the car, I filled it up with gas, and there was a park that was right next to the Royal Farms that you were going to go to. So I go and drive over to where the park is, and Jill's nowhere to be found. I look in my rearview mirror, and she's like waving to me. She's halfway down the street. And I look in my rearview mirror, and I see what probably Jill saw, which was the Chesapeake Bay, only a block from where we were.
Pretty blue water.
Now,
calling my name.
It was Jackson Creek, but I mean, that leads to the bay. So we walked down there, and it was a little public beach with nobody there. So we sat for about a half an hour, walked around, this little beach. Jill busted out the boob and breastfed Lucille.
I have no shame when it comes to breastfeeding, but I do it very graciously so that it pops out, but then Lucille is right on it, like immediately. So there's not a lot of nip slip, but even if there is, it's like, I don't even care anymore.
It happens.
Everyone's got nipples, right?
I got nipples, Fokker.
Except for Barbie dolls.
Can you help
me? I don't understand why Barbie dolls don't have nipples.
I don't either.
They should make them anatomically
It's a question
correct.
for the Chinese.
Okay. Does the Chinese
I don't know.
Barbie?
I'm assuming it's made in China.
Are they isn't it by Playtel or something, the company?
Mattel?
Oh God, Playtel.
Goodness
Jesus.
gracious. We're getting off topic here.
Okay.
But no, it was really cool. I mean, if we didn't stop for gas, we wouldn't have had that moment today, which was really cool.
And that's what happens when you're not always looking at your phone. When you look up and look around you, it's like, wow, you can meet people, you can see things.
It was very cool.
You can find unexpected adventures, and that's kind of what we did today, and it was pretty nice.
It was a great day today. So what are you grateful for, Jilly?
I didn't hear
I didn't hear what you were going to say. This is right where it cut off.
I think we stopped recording.
I'm excited to hear this for the very first time.
I'm grateful for your parents living out of state.
Ooh.
And when they first moved, about 4 years ago?
Almost 5.
4 years ago,
yeah,
5 years ago. I know we were kind of sad because it meant that we weren't going to see our parents as much. But because they moved, I want to say the perfect distance, 2 hours.
Yeah, and it's an easy drive so long as we're not going on a Friday in the middle of the summer.
Well, yeah, we don't do that. We're not crazy. But just having the opportunity to stay somewhere new and discover new places, and they're discovering new places and giving us recommendations. So, they're excited to share what they know about Delaware.
Right.
And I just think it brings some new adventures to our lives, and just it allows your parents to teach us some new things about the area that they're in now. And I know they were, living in Maryland for a very long time. They knew everything about Maryland, and now they're in Delaware. They're learning new quirks and things about Delaware, so they get to share that, and we get to experience new little adventures with them. So it makes it fun.
So my idea about Delaware is basically Wayne's World, where like, hi, I'm in Delaware, and then nothing. But we actually saw some pretty cool stuff there. Like, what was that, Gordon Pond that we went to, which was really nice. I mean, it's right next to the ocean. You get to see some of the old World War II towers that were looking out for enemy boats and everything like that. It was really cool. It was very peaceful. The weather was perfect. So it was really cool walking. I'm glad we are getting to discover some of those nice parks around the area there.
Yeah, and I know we tend to go towards where mountains are, and Delaware is definitely, there's not a mountain to be found.
There's barely a hill.
It's very flat, but again, I think it's all about perspective, and I think you can find the joy in little things and that Delaware has to offer, and they have a lot of great natural state parks, and that's actually probably good for us right now because Lucille, it's not like we can do some rigorous hiking, treacherous hiking.
But, a mile and a half is round, both ways is easy enough.
So, and it worked out for us because Lucille is teething pretty hardcore right now. She's got 3 teeth coming in, and she's just been extra fussier than usual. So it's nice having the option to just have a low maintenance outdoor adventure where we can turn around if we need to. It's not that far, and just seeing your parents light up around her. I know your mom had surgery. I'm probably going too deep, but it just felt the timing was right. Like Lucille being there was giving your mom
it was a good weekend.
Positive
it really was.
Vibes her way that she desperately needed after that surgery and all those complications. But yeah, so I'm grateful that your parents moved because we have some new adventures.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was great. Cool. We're talking about being snobs today.
Being snobby, high maintenance, both those words I feel like have a negative feeling towards them when you hear that word.
Right.
And even when I would hear the word snob or high maintenance, I would even think I'm not high maintenance. I'm not a snob. But as we're growing older and we're learning more about what we like and what's best for us and not caring about what other people think, I find that being a snob or quote unquote high maintenance is a good thing. And to start it off, I found some definitions I wanted to share really quick.
Okay, jump in it.
So according to Oxford.com, a snob is a person with an exaggerated respect for high social position or wealth. So I would like to change that to an exaggerated respect for their overall well-being. And that's how I see a snob being.
Yeah.
It's not about high position or high wealth. And actually it could be high wealth because I think our wealth is our health.
Yes.
So I find
it depends on, some people define wealth as money. Other people
that's
us,
true.
We define it as our overall well-being.
Absolutely. Wealth. So I find that if we have an exaggerated respect for our wealth, which is quote unquote our health, I think that is completely amazing.
Yeah.
According to dictionary.com, high maintenance definition, needing a lot of work to keep in good condition, demands a lot of attention. And usually when you think of the word high maintenance, usually you think about this chick is high maintenance. She's so needy. She needs all this attention. But I see it as you're needing a lot of attention to keep a healthy and happy body, mind, and soul. That's how I interpret it. Yeah, we all need a lot of work to keep in good condition. So I think if you're high maintenance...
You're high maintenance to yourself.
Exactly. So I find that we have to be high maintenance or else we're not giving ourselves the attention we need to be the best version of ourselves.
We're not putting the best things in our body. I think there's a lot of things where you can say you're snobbish or high maintenance. I know I like to joke around and say I'm a coffee snob or I'm a cocktail snob or whatever, but it's, I like good ingredients. I like, good taste, organic things where you can actually, you don't need cream. Again, I don't drink my coffee with cream or anything like that. I drink it black. So I'm trying to take in all the flavors.
Because you're a sociopath, just letting you know.
Psychopath.
Sociopath, psychopath, are they the same?
Same.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this because I find that we started labeling ourselves as a food snob or a coffee snob. And I always thought that was a bad thing. And I was like, you know what? I don't think being a food snob or a coffee snob or a cocktail snob is a bad thing. And I think we got to talk about the change of perspective we've had about this because I think I'm okay calling myself that now.
Sure.
At first I thought I was bad. It was just, You know, and it's not like I turn my nose up at other people.
You had that Oxford definition of those things.
Yeah, but I think that before it would be like, you know, is that a bad thing that I'm not settling for a bag of Doritos because that's the only thing around? I'm like, no, because I'm saying no to that, it means that I have high respect for my body.
Yeah.
And we see Lucille on the camera.
She is making noise in the other room, and we may have to jump off and jump on here real quick, but we'll keep it up. She's also learned how to stand, and so now we're at the stage where she's standing in her crib. I'm pretty sure she's standing right now.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So anyways, we'll come back to this real quick.
All right. Pause.
And we're back.
False alarm, guys.
Yeah.
Well, she was awake and then she kind of put herself back to sleep. Go Lucille.
Yeah. Either that or she knocked herself out and we don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop it.
So anyways, we'll jump back into this.
All right. So getting to the snob part.
Yes.
So going back to the definition, it means a person with an exaggerated respect for, we changed it to their overall well-being.
Right.
Or wealth, as we said, would be your health. So I noticed that I feel like we're a snob when it comes to things that we input, like food, drinks, like anything that is basically going in.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So like for like skincare products or, you know, anything that's going in our body, I find that we're snobbish because we have a high exaggerated respect? Is that the one? Yeah, we have a high exaggerated respect for that. And like I said, we definitely become food snobs. We have a high respect for our bodies, which means that we don't settle for anything less. Like if we're hungry and we had to choose between a bag of Doritos and nothing, I think we'd probably choose nothing.
I think we're going to choose nothing at this point, yeah.
Because we're educated so much about the crap that's in processed foods that it's insane.
It's really insane. Like there's just things now that I have no desire to put in my body anymore, and just knowing where it comes from, that actually has done the trick. Like, it's just like, I don't want to eat this anymore. Like, it's, even though it may taste amazing, I know where that's processed. And I'm not putting that shit in my body anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
And it makes me mad that there's people that create products that know that they want to trick you pretty much. Like, I'm going to trick you into buying this because I know that the ingredients in here are going to make you want more of it and you're going to become addictive. And it just kind of sucks that we have, like, we can't trust anyone. Like, we can't trust every brand or every food company because they just want to sell their product. Some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before, on particularly I think in our meal prepping episode, and maybe even some of the other ones, is like, these food marketers are freaking crooks. Like, with just the way that they're really good. Yeah, and it's just, they know what strikes people's core. It's just saying the word organic. Or natural, or even grass-fed. And we talked about it. Grass-fed could be like the cow was out for one day eating grass, and then it's a grass-fed cow. Like, that's scary.
It is scary. And again, if you have a very high respect for your body, you do the digging, and it takes a little extra effort to find out more about a company, but it is so worth it once you do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I find that we are, quote unquote, snobbish when it comes to food or drinks like coffee.
You know, it's funny. I feel bad because I used to think Wawa coffee back in the day was just aces. Yeah, I said that. It's a snob episode, so I might as well say something funny. If anybody didn't get that. But I don't find Wawa coffee to be good anymore. I find it to be subpar along with all the other convenience store coffees.
Well, I think that's another
Now, theirs
thing.
was the best amongst the convenience store coffees, but I demand good coffee. And
I love that.
When we go to even a small mom and pop coffee shop and their coffee shit, it pisses me off. Like, I feel like...
And it's not like we look down on them by any means. No. It's not like we were like, oh my God, this is so disgusting. Like, I can't believe you serve this to me. It's, you know, like, we take a sip and I'll be like, you know what?
Do you really appreciate what you're serving? Like, is this your idea of what good is? And
but everyone's perspective is different. So
I'm sounding like a snob, but I know what I like. I know it's good for me.
But we never look differently on other people for liking certain things.
No, if you like it, that's fine.
You're not getting this from this
episode. That's not what we're trying to come across as either.
But we just have a high respect of what we put in our body, and if it's not the best that we know it could be, then it's no thank you.
Yeah.
And I know we've come for that. I know about food and now cocktails. Like,
yeah, I used to be a beer dude. I can drink 100 Miller Lights in a sitting. No, I'm just kidding. Not that
You
many.
have lost a lot of weight since your beer days. That's
I
for
will
damn
tell
sure.
you, like, 2 cocktails is perfect. Like, you get for at least for me, it's like you get the right amount of buzz that you're looking for if that's what you're going for. But like even the nights, I said on the last episode, I'm really loving creating cocktails and the science behind it. Like, if I go to a bar right now and I see a guy not using a jigger to measure out the amount of alcohol going
I
there,
love that you know what it's
it
called now.
pisses me off. Like, it's like, no, this isn't a freaking college bar where you can just measure the pours by counting the seconds. No, actually, it's a recipe that you're supposed to follow. And in order for the cocktail to be good, you have to follow that recipe. That's why there is a recipe. So if no one's measuring, I get pissed off and I'm like, all right, this is not going to be a good experience.
And it sounds like cocktails, it's very similar to baking. Like, you have to be very
It's
exact
precise.
for it to work
Absolutely.
out perfectly. And honestly,
you can tell by the way that I've done the cocktails here.
Yeah, and it's so simple. Like, it's not a bajillion ingredients, and it's not like you're winging it. It's very precise. And now when we go out, it's like, if we don't think it's going to be like, we kind of know which places serve really good cocktails just by watching the bartender.
Yes.
And we tend to go to those places for date night because if we're going to spend good money, we want to get the best in us. And their ingredients are fantastic too.
And that's the other thing too. We're willing to spend good money on good food, good cocktails, but that means we're also not going out and going to McDonald's or Burger King during the week because it's easy and spending that money. So we are saving a lot of money by doing the meal prepping, by, taking our lunches to work and everything like that, so that we can enjoy those finer things. So
we budget for that. And that goes back to our budgeting episode. Like, some people say, I don't have money to like shop organic. I don't have money
to eat that way. We make those small changes in order to make it happen.
I find that you can always make excuses for everything. And I know there may be circumstances where you can't buy organic everything. I completely get that. But I think you can budget accordingly to spend money in the places that you think it's best worth it.
Right.
And to me, anything I'm putting in my body or on my body is totally worth spending the money for. Like, I'm going to budget more for that area.
100%. And I agree with that. So, when it comes to our input, and the other thing is with clothes, I don't buy clothes often. Like, I'm not going to the store every week or every month or every paycheck or anything like that. I buy clothes a couple times a year.
When things are broken or when you're like, hey, this doesn't fit me anymore at all. So
for me, I buy things that are going to last, that are very quality material and may cost a little more money. I finally found a dress shirt after years and years of looking for a dress shirt that fits. And I have long arms and a skinny frame, so sometimes it's really tough to find a dress shirt. But Twillery, and I think I even mentioned in a previous episode, Twillery, if you're looking for a sponsorship, contact us. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm willing to pay. It's a little bit more money. Obviously, the more shirts you buy, you get a little bit more off. So, of course, I'm getting 3 or 4 shirts.
No, you fall for it.
I fall for it, but I mean, it's cheaper than me buying one. So, and I need it. But, again, it kind of goes back to our last episode or our earlier episode. Something comes in, something else has to go out.
That's what we created. Absolutely.
And so I've got shirts that I've had for a long time that need to go out, and I need to replace them. And I've got high quality stuff that should last a long time.
Yeah, and actually it's funny you say the whole clothes thing, because the last thing I bought was a hat.
Yeah.
And
snobby hat.
Oh my God, I have been looking for this type of hat for a very long time, and I am very picky, or I say snobbish when it comes to, or particular about finding a hat that fit me just right. And I finally found a hat that was like perfect. Like, I put it on, it just felt right. I looked at the price tag and it was like, Shazam. Am I really going to pay this much for a hat? But then after thinking about it and talking to my mom, it was like, the quality was amazing. The place we were buying it from, like, it was just a very well-respected place to buy a hat. I feel like people buy hats there that go to Pimlico.
Yeah.
So these hats are
and Pimlico
pristine.
Is where the Preakness is every year, part of the Triple Crown in horse racing, just in case you didn't know.
Thank you. So, after talking to my mom, I guess I'm just so used to, in the past, buying things that were always on sale. And my mom was like, you've been looking a long time for this hat. Like,
you found it.
It's good quality. It's the perfect color. It looks fantastic on you. You're getting this hat. And if you're feeling weird about it, I'll even split half of it. And I was like, all right, Mom, thank you for like talking me into it. And I mean, I'm so glad. It's like, once
You've
you
had
buy
that hat for a week and a half and you've already got a million compliments on it.
That is true. But I didn't buy it for the compliments.
I know you
bought
didn't,
it
but I'm
because
just saying.
I felt like I needed a wide brim hat. Like, it's
Think
not.
of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. That is the hat that she bought.
I'm so excited about it too.
It's awesome.
So yeah, I'm totally snobby when it comes to purchases for clothing. Absolutely.
And I think maybe even purchases in general. I think when we buy things, again, it kind of goes back to the input. A lot of the stuff that we buy is for input, but we look for quality stuff. We're not buying something because it's cheap or it's on sale. We're buying it because
Quality,
it fits with what we're looking for, and it's going to suit us in a way that, you know, we're going to use it all the time. Like I said, you know, we're very particular and picky for what we buy and what we bring in the house and what we consume.
And some people can see that as negative, and we don't. Like, we consider ourselves very mindful and okay to be snobbish with what we put in our bodies.
Yeah. So you found something else out about us when you were prepping for this episode, and I thought it was really interesting because I never really thought of it this way, but I'm glad you did some research on it, and you gave the definition a little bit earlier, but go ahead. High maintenance, right?
So the high maintenance definition was needing a lot of work to keep in good condition, which means you demand a lot of attention. And I found that we are high maintenance when it comes to output. So when it comes to movement, you know,
bowel movements. No, I'm just kidding.
Output things on, like, you know, just on how our day works, like how we fill our calendar, the people we hang out with. So I think that being high maintenance when it comes to all of those things is important. So we want to keep our bodies in good condition. So making sure that we're moving throughout the day, no matter what kind of circumstance. Like I've talked about it before, there might be times where I have breaks as a teacher, and I was trained that teachers usually work through their break. And I was like, this isn't healthy for me.
No,
I don't want to sit and be on the computer or make copies during my break time. So I started walking through during my breaks, and it's like something so small that's like, it totally changes my day, my stress levels. So I think it's important to be high maintenance when it comes to keeping your body in good condition. Like
your well-being, your
no
health.
one else is going to do it for you. You have to do it for yourself.
Well, and that's part of the reason why we took our closet door off, is so that we can hang a pull-up bar there. And anytime we go past this said pull-up bar, we either have to hang and stretch our backs out or do a couple pull-ups.
Yeah,
and I'm really excited for it. You know, like I said, I'm bringing a kettlebell for my desk at work, and Jill keeps reminding me that I need to get outside during the day.
In a nice way.
And I will. It was a crazy week last week, and the weather is perfect now, so I will get outside this week.
So yeah, I find that it's important to be high maintenance because when it comes to output, because no one else is going to look out for your well-being but yourself.
Right.
So even if it's not the quote unquote normal thing to do, if like you're in a meeting for a long period of time, or you're in a situation where like,
I mean, tell them what you do in your meetings.
Oh, I'm that person standing or stretching. And at first it was weird because no one else was really doing it. And I'm that oddball that just stands up, and I'm either standing or I'm just walking. And now I'm known as that person, like, oh, that's just Jill. Like, she just stands. And it's funny how so quick you can change your norm.
Yeah.
And cause a domino effect where other people see it and they're like, oh, well, they're standing, then maybe it's okay that I stand. Like, I think it's important to not be afraid to do things that are different than anybody else.
Yeah. And I'm sure it took a lot for you to say, oh, they're judging me and stuff like that, and F that, you know, I'm not going to do what's best for me. That takes a lot of balls. Not that you have balls, but it takes a lot of balls to do that. Yeah. No, so I'm really happy that you're doing things and not giving a shit what other people think.
You know,
because it's part of your well-being and your health, whether it's your physical or mental health, it helps out.
And I think a lot of people don't understand the whole physical and mental thing are totally related.
Yes.
So if you're doing things physically for your body, the mental benefits are there as well. And a lot of people don't think about the brain being connected to physical activity, but it so is. And even just getting outdoors is life-changing in helping your stress levels.
Yeah.
But I also think that we need to be high maintenance when it comes to just scheduling things in our calendar. And I think we do a really good job now of making sure there's enough space in our calendar for us.
We don't overwhelm ourselves at all.
No.
Like we have stuff planned on the weekend, but it's not like stuff that's back to back to back where we have to be one place or another.
Why
We
put
know
that pressure on us?
When Lucille gets older, it's going to be a little more pressure to do those things and hang out with the people we want to hang out with. But we always kind of bring it back to the season of life that we're in. And right now we're in that season of life where we're in chill mode still. Although Lucille is a little bit more mobile now, so
we're planning one event a day if we do have anything, because it's like we're not sure what's going to happen. Let's just take it one step at a time.
And we've still got a lot of things that we want to do around the house here. At least for me, I've got my spring projects and I've got my summer projects, and
less is more.
When we do a lot of things, I get behind on those, and then that makes me a little crazy in the head. But no, it's not nothing crazy. But I just know that I get behind and I don't like feeling behind. So we really do a good job of spacing things out and hanging out with quality people that we want to spend our time with.
Yeah. And I know, like, I'm okay being high maintenance when it comes to, like, I need to get outside or I need to walk. And it may be like not the most opportune time, but you know what? It's to the point where like everybody knows that I need that. Like I need alone time, or I need time just to be outside, because it's going to make me a better Jill. So like, why fight that? Like, do you want a mediocre Jill, the angry Jill, or do you want the best Jill? So it's like, just give me 10 minutes. I'm going to go for a quick stroll and then I'll be back. And I'm okay with it. And I think we're really afraid to do things out of the norm because we're afraid we're going to offend people. But really, do they want to be with the best version of you, or do they want to be with the not so good version of you? So
I'm sure there's times where I was like, I should probably walk with her. But I mean, you're totally fine. Like if I don't come with you, you're like, okay, whatever. You're getting your outdoor time.
Yeah.
But I also like it that you're outdoors and walking around, because it pushes me to do that stuff too. I'm one of those people who needs a little extra push. But
you're welcome, honey.
No, I appreciate it. We had a lot of great walks this weekend. I got my 10,000 steps every day this weekend, which was fantastic. I need to work more on doing that during the week, but hey, we'll get there. Baby steps.
That was weird. We just said that.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a coffee.
Yeah. So anything else about being high maintenance?
No, I think we covered it pretty well and precisely. I know we're shortening our episodes a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to try to stick to a half an hour. We took a poll, and
between 30 and 40
we've been running like 50 minutes and 55 minutes, and it's nice that we're going to try to cut these to a half an hour, just because it's easier for editing, it's easier to pull clips, but it also most of your commutes are 30 minutes, or you have multiple podcasts you're listening to, and we appreciate you listening to ours.
Yes, we do.
So do you have any resources you wanted to share?
I do, and I'll try to do this quickly, but I found a blog post. It was called The 10 Benefits to Being High Maintenance You Never Thought of Before.
Okay.
And it's by Lucy Rebecca, and the first one is, high standards are important because it means you're more selective about how others treat us, and also who you choose to surround yourself with.
Right.
Number 2, it's because you know what you want. You know clearly what is good for you, and you're not afraid to go after it. Number 3, you don't settle for less. We all deserve so much, and no one should ever settle for less than that. Number 4, you get the best of the best. So if you're high maintenance, you're able to filter out anything that's not the best for you, and you wait for it. Like, you don't settle for something that's going to be mediocre.
Right.
Number 5, you have plenty of self-respect. So you never forget your worth and anything that you deserve. And this is always a good thing because it means you can steer clear of things that might put you in a compromising or undesirable position, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, you guys deserve the best.
Number 6, it means you're highly selective. And again, it's all changing your perspective. Just because you're highly selective doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It means you're able to fill your lives only with the things you deserve. And
you know what you want.
Exactly. Number 7, you're a good role model. So especially if you're around kids, showing that you have high, exaggerated respect for yourself is showing your kids not to settle for less and to wait for the best. Like, waiting is worth it.
Exactly. And not just picking it up because it's a hot thing. Make sure it's good for you.
Yes, just being intentional. And number 8.
Ooh, intentional.
Like that.
That's a reoccurring theme with this podcast.
Number 8, it means you have respect from others comes easier. So as long as you're not demanding, everyone can respect somebody who knows exactly what they want. And if you don't stand by your decisions, nobody else will. Number 9, it means you're confident. So just knowing what you want, what you deserve, it means that you're going to get that confidence that you deserve, and you're going to have decisions and opinions without, like, you don't have to try and please others. Like, your decisions and opinions are to please yourself, and you just keep on that track. And number 10, it means you're a great communicator, which I thought was interesting. By having the willpower to defend yourself, you're going to be great at being outspoken.
That's a good one.
And you're able to express yourself without fear. And I find that I'm getting better at that.
You are becoming very fearless, and I really admire that about you.
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job about it. You really are.
It's a scary process, but I'm noticing the benefits, and it's pretty freaking amazing.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
So let's jump into that quote of the day.
Quote of the day is, I couldn't find who this was by, but I just saw it.
Anonymous.
I took a screenshot of it.
Unknown.
Yes. So the quote of the day is, don't go back to less just because you're too impatient wait for the best.
Thank you, unknown.
So your take action from this episode is, it's okay to be a snob. Yeah. It's okay to be high maintenance for yourself because no one else is going to look out for you.
Well, I would say, to add on top of that, take an inventory of the things that you're consuming. And if you feel like they're not meeting your standards, then
change it. And don't be afraid to change it.
And if you feel like there's something that's out of your grasp that you really want to add in your life, make the necessary changes so that you can make that want or need part of your life.
And there's definitely a way to have high standards without, looking down upon others. I think just being open and honest about that, you know what, I'm only trying to put what's best in my body to make myself happy and healthy. And I think no one's going to say anything about that.
No.
If you always bring it back to your why.
That? Exactly. But
yeah, I think we did. Did we do pretty well?
We did great.
Yay.
Shorter episodes. I think I can get down with this.
Shazam.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening this week. If you like this episode and feel like somebody else can benefit from the topic we covered here, please feel free to share it. Take a screenshot and post it on Instagram, on Facebook, or even Twitter.
Help spread the word to others.
Please, we are totally grateful for your listenership, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
See you later, guys.
We want to thank everybody for listening today. Please be sure to subscribe and sign up to receive notifications so you know when the next episode is live. If you like today's episode and know someone who could benefit from the topic we covered, please share it with them. And if you have any suggestions for us or want to chime in on today's topic, you can email us at simplifiedchaospodcast@gmail.com, and that's chaos with a K, or send us a comment on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you